The Dayton Contemporary Dance Company, also known as Dcdc, is one of the oldest modern dance companies in Ohio. In January, the world came to Dayton when Dcdc hosted the International Association of Blacks in Dance Conference and Festival. Here's the story.
The Dayton Contemporary Dance Company has a broad audience, individuals who love arts and culture, creativity, and experiencing what I call the African American story from the soul. The Dayton Contemporary Dance Company was started in 1968 by Geraldine Blunden.
My mother, Geraldine, started this company and built it because really there was no place for African American dancers to really train here in this part of the United States. When you think of dance companies, you think of dance companies existing in coastal cities, and she was very adamant about the fact that one could exist here in the Midwest, where people only thought there were cows and cornfields. We are a performing company that tours, and we also offer educational activities from K through 89. But we are rooted in the African American experience, which means we perform dances of that culture, of that conversation.
Dcdc's history is rooted in the civil rights movement. It's about the African American experience. And now, as the world is becoming multicultural, it's relevant to today. Dcdc is the artistic exploration of multicultural reality. If you like high energy, it's the place to go. This is not some lullaby. This is very high energy dance. And it's very easy to digest. And it's very powerful, and one walks away from a performance feeling great.
I started dancing with the company when I was 12, so I sort of grew up as the company grew up. I started choreographing when I was 15 or 16, so there's always been a place to grow and be nurtured here. As we move through this 50th anniversary and I start to think about what the future holds for us, I still want to hold fast to those things that make us us. And that's a very, very nurturing environment. The roster of dancers for Dcdc's first company come from all over the world. Dayton is home for every artist that joins this company for whatever length of time. So what they do and who they are doesn't just live inside of the studio space.
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. A really good friend of mine had previously danced for Dcdc, and he talked about them a lot. So he put Dcdc on my radar. But then when I saw them dance, it put me like head over heels. I was like, this is my next spot. If I don't get here, I don't know what's next, but I have got to get into the Dayton Contemporary Dance Company.
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I saw Dcdc do the wonderful concert dance that they do, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's a really big deal. Like, this is really amazing. So I took the next year and a half after I met Dcdc to prepare myself for coming to audition. Being able to host a large conference like the International Association of Blacks in Dance during our 50th anniversary is a great opportunity to just allow people to experience Dcdc and to experience Dayton.
IABDC stands for the International Association of Blacks in Dance. 5 dance companies, we call them the Founding Fives. They all came together and they wanted to create a platform where young dancers could come, audition, work, network, all under one roof.
Dcdc was one of the founding member companies. There were 5 of them: Dayton Contemporary Dance Company, Dallas Black Dance Theater, Philadelphia, Lula Washington, and Cleo Parker Robinson. So IABD is now this consortium of black dance companies, black scholars, black artistic directors. And every year, we all get together and there's a conference and festival. It's like a family reunion. And it's just 4 days of being with people who know what you're going through. And it's always an experience that revives and refreshes you. We had a youth performance and a collegiate performance. we had an audition for summer study for dancers, and the takeaway was over $500,000 in scholarships that were offered to those young dancers. The Onyx performance was the crown jewel of the weekend because it showcased the major African American dance companies from across the country. Lula Washington's piece, Fragments. Lula is a self-bred choreographer, and Lula creates work that sparks her emotional id, no matter what it is. And I think Fragments talks about that. I think the piece is created in a way that it can have modules added onto it as other things pique her curiosity. Movement is our language. Like words are a writer's way, movement is how we connect with our audiences, and Fragments was a perfect example of that. Philadelphia performed Endangered Species, the piece that was created by Anthony Burrell, and it was one of the most incredible works of dance that I've seen in quite some time. Clearly, he tackled a social ill and a social problem in that work, but the way it resonated in those dancers' bodies for the performance of that work, it should be seen everywhere. People ask all the time, what is different about Black dance? And I think it's the energy and the perspective and how we can reach out there and grab your heart and twist it in your chest if you'll just sit still long enough and come support us. And Endangered Species was the prime proof positive example of what that kind of work can do.
People have said that they feel something when they watch the company, that there's like a spiritual connection that they can feel. I know that the first time that I saw Dcdc, I also felt the same way. The atmosphere that the organization sets allows us to be our full selves and allows us to be artistically liberated, so that when we are on stage, there's this real sense of dancing from the heart and giving with nothing to prove but everything to share. We try to think about that as we are performing, and I think that people receive that.
I'd like to believe that with all of the other innovations that have happened in the soil of the Miami Valley, Dcdc is a part of that. Arts and culture really touch the soul.
I think we are proud to be from Dayton. We're here, we are rooted here, and I'm hoping that we'll be here for another 50 years.